In my contacts with allies throughout NATO territory, what I notice and hear is that we all agree, as we have always agreed, that it was crucial for Iran not to acquire nuclear capability or ballistic missile capability. And what the US is doing right now is degrading Iran's capability, and I think that's very important. This is important for European security, for the Middle East, and it's vital for Israel itself. So, when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, everyone agrees that the strait cannot remain closed. It needs to be reopened as soon as possible. This is crucial for the world economy. In my contacts with allies, what I see is that they are discussing intensely among themselves and with the United States the best way to move forward to address this major security issue. And let me add that I am fully confident that the allies, as always, will do whatever is necessary to support our common interest.
The Secretary General of the Alliance, Mark Rutte, surprised everyone by declaring clear support for the United States' actions against Iran, and more than that, he issued a warning that could change the course of this crisis. But what is actually happening? In recent days, the United States has intensified operations against strategic targets linked to Iran. These actions aim to weaken the country's military and operational capacity, according to Rutte. In fact, this is already happening. Here's the main point: it's not just an isolated operation. We're talking about an escalation that is already starting to directly involve the debate within NATO. Who is involved? On one side, the United States leading military and strategic actions. On the other, Iran, which responds and tries to maintain its power structure amid growing pressure. In the middle of this, NATO comes in, a military alliance that brings together countries, and the head of this alliance, Mark Rutte, decided to speak clearly. He stated that these actions do not impact only the Middle East. According to him, this is crucial for European security, for the stability of the region, and also for Israel. In other words, the conflict is no longer just regional and starts to be treated as a global problem. When did this happen? Rutte's statements were made now, amid the recent escalation of tension involving attacks, military responses, and the risk of blocking strategic routes. This timing is important because it happens precisely when the world is looking with concern at a specific point on the map. The Strait of Hormuz. Where is the focus? The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important routes on the planet. A significant portion of the world's oil passes through there, and Rutte was direct. This route cannot be closed. He stated that trade needs to return to normal as quickly as possible. Because according to him, the impact is not local, it's global. It affects energy, the economy, and international stability. How is this being addressed? According to the NATO Secretary General himself, the allies are in intense discussion. Countries are talking to each other, with the United States, and assessing what is the best way to deal with this crisis. But here is an important detail. Despite Rutte's strong statement, not all European countries are ready to enter directly into this confrontation. There is a sense of caution. Many European governments fear that a greater escalation could lead to serious economic consequences and even expand the conflict to other regions. Why does this matter? When the head of NATO says that weakening Iran is important for global security, it changes the political weight of the situation. This signals that the problem is no longer just a dispute between countries and has come to be seen as a broader threat. In addition, the concern about the Strait of Hormuz shows that the impact goes beyond the war. We're talking about oil, global trade, energy prices, and ultimately a direct impact on the economies of several countries, even outside the region. Now, the scenario that is unfolding is as follows, and it's tense. On one side, the United States is advancing with its actions. On the other, Iran is trying to respond and maintain its position. And in the midst of all this, NATO is starting to take a position, even without total consensus. What lies ahead? That's the question everyone is asking. If the conflict keeps escalating, the pressure on the allies could increase, and what is a debate today could turn into action. For now, what we have is a clear signal. The head of NATO has spoken, and when he speaks in that tone, the whole world pays attention, because this could just be the beginning of something bigger.
Och,